We're underway from Exactech Arena, and Florida State controls the possession first. Bianca Jackson, River Baldwin, Courtney Weber, Morgan Jones, Valencia Myers, the starting five for the Seminoles. Nice backdoor cut, and already getting on the board as Jackson finds Morgan Jones and count it.
Just a terrific play call by Florida State to open up this game with the back screen, freeing up Morgan Jones. I talked about her elusiveness, her ability to just be springy and athletic. Great play for Florida State.
And this is the Florida State team coming off a convincing 83-32 win over Charleston Southern, controlling the possession and then an over and back. And the Seminoles handed over Sue Semrau. Great to see her back on the sidelines this season after taking a season-long absence last year to take care of her mother, who was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. So Coach Semrau, in her 24th season with the Seminoles, has had great success against the Gators during her coaching tenure in Tallahassee. Rolls off the rim, stays with the Seminoles. Open look for Courtney Weber. It won't go. And then coming down with the rebound is Flora Tonders. Emanuele de Oliveira nearly got that one to go. Fouled on the way to the bucket, and she will shoot two. Good look there at Kelly Ray Finley, the interim coach for the Florida Gators. Took post in late July, and a player's coach, if you will, Steffi, as we've gotten a chance to not only spend time with Kelly Ray Finley, but also see how she interacts with her players. They are just drawn to her. De Oliveira knocks down both, and we're even at two.
You could definitely tell the pace of this game so far, Tiffany, is fast. I mean, Sue Semrau, she wants to play fast for Florida State, but so does Florida. They like to get out and run in transition. It's all about taking care of the basketball and rebounding right now.
Talking about taking care of the basketball, it's Kiki Smith who couldn't come up with it. It's the battle of the ball. Morgan Jones, and Florida State comes up with it, finds River Baldwin, and Baldwin puts it in for two. Baldwin coming off the best game of this early season, 13 points in 14 minutes last Sunday. The left hand pops in and out for Lavender Briggs, and then underneath the basket, Tonders called for the personal foul. Fourth season in the program, winning as coach at Florida State for this women's basketball program. Kiki Smith, the lefty, takes it and gets it to go. Kiera Smith, graduate student out of District Heights, Maryland. We'll be calling her name quite often here today. The pull-up no good. Nina Ricard's on the backside rebound. And Smith patiently waiting, observing Lavender Briggs. And Briggs sees that one pop in and out. You know that the Gators want to see Briggs get buckets. That's what she was accustomed to doing throughout her career. And Lavender Briggs, just one of those players who had a fantastic couple of years, obviously trying to still get her bounce back after a foot injury that took her out back in February.
Yeah, she doesn't necessarily look the same that she did when she was really at her peak last year, but she still has time to really find her rhythm, and we saw that against TCU. She dropped 22 against them, but she's a playmaker. She's a star for the Gators.
And has had a nice stretch of games over the last four, and Florida gets the basketball back. Lavender Briggs, who's closing in on 1,000 career points. here at the University of Florida. And Smith with nice step and penetration to the hoop. She's just so quick, she just blew right by the defender.
She is so difficult to defend in the pick and roll because she's got the shot, she's got the mid-range, but she can get downhill so quickly. You blink, and she's at the rim, and we'll take another look at her coming off the on-ball. This is the challenge for Florida State of how do you defend Kiki Smith off the on-ball. You chase, you're late, your post player doesn't help. Easy bucket for Kiki Smith.
Smith, who returned to this program after a COVID year. She wanted to come back and sharpen up her skills and also help this Gators team be successful.
And Kelly Rae Finley, I mean, we talked about her being the interim head coach and how she is, you know, how she is as a coach, and it's about relationships and a player's coach, and Kiki Smith wanted to come back and help her.
Smith up the left side of the floor, strong side, pulls up for the jumper. Off front iron, but wrestling that one away was Tonders. The offensive board allows the Gators offense to reset once again. Ricards rises, fires, no good. Gordon, Omaria Gordon, the backup point guard, comes in with the rebound and out of control, and Morgan Jones is whistled for the offensive foul.
Getting back in transition is so key against the Florida State offense that wants to run, and Manu does such a good job of getting that legal guarding position to take the charge.
Third turnover now for Florida State. A 6-4 advantage with just over 6 to go in the opening quarter. Briggs being guarded by Weber, and last touch by the Gators. Gators 8-3 overall this season. Florida State coming in at 6-2. Gordon, true freshman out of Bradenton, Florida, finds Myers, and then the turnover. Back the other way in transition. Smith pops it back out to Briggs. And Myers got a hand plant on the forehead of Briggs.
She palmed Briggs' head. I think if you're Kelly Rae Finley, you have to be impressed right now with the way that they're defending. You know, talking to her about what she was going to throw against Florida State. She's really confident in her team's defense, as there you see the palming of Briggs' head to draw the foul. But forcing turnovers for Florida State, who is susceptible to turn the ball over, 17 a game.
Doing a good job thus far of taking care of the basketball is Florida State. Just one turnover here today. Cross-court pass to Ricards. Back out, and off the backboard, there's Jordan Merritt. Jordan Merritt, who has taken a nice leap from freshman year to her sophomore campaign, puts up another 2, doubles the lead on a 6-0 run now for Florida. Baseline kick out, good open look, and drains the 3 as Bianca Jackson brings the Seminoles within 1. Little runner in the lane, pops out. Gordon full steam ahead, nice sidestep. And so far, a frantic pace to start this ball game, but that's exactly what you expect in a rivalry game. Kiki Smith saying, I'm coming to play. Or what happened or whatevs. Records go out the window, and you're just ready to put on that jersey and play.
And I think it's between these two programs and across all sports, volleyball, football, baseball, soccer, you name it. There's just a rivalry between Florida and Florida State. If you're a high school student in Florida, you either go Florida, Florida State. You know, like that's just the way that it is. So who can be the best this year in their given sport? I mean, this one you always circle. I mean, this is one of my favorite games as a Florida Gator.
As the shot clock expired, off the mark, but River Baldwin is there for cleanup duty. Baldwin, great efficiency from the floor for the Seminoles. Ricards off the mark. And trying to get the ball up the court, and just the peskiness of defense from Smith and Duke making it tough. The miss there, and Weber back the other way.
Florida State taking their time, Tiffany, offensively. They really want to play inside out. They've got 2 true post players.
Timeout, Seminoles. Timeout.
And the Seminoles spend a timeout here, and Steffi, that's one of the conversation pieces. When you take a look at this Florida State team, you know that they're coming in with some size and length on the interior.
And that's really how they run their offense. I mean, they're going to look to go high-low within their post players. Their offense starts by a guard getting the ball inside and then kicking out and running through their sets. Florida, they're going to play a lot of on balls. They're going to try to get downhill, get to the rim. We've already seen that contrast in styles. I think rebounding is going to be really important because the Gators have to contend with the size and the length of the Seminoles.
Well, the Seminoles came out with 4 straight wins to start the season, dropped back-to-back games against BYU and Purdue before coming on strong, getting a win over Illinois out of the Big Ten, and then Charleston Southern, as we mentioned last week. So final exams taking place up in Tallahassee. So it was a week off for the Seminoles as they're back in action. Maya Brown left that one short. Coming back the other way, a new face, Zippy Broughton this season for the Gators, along with Talia White. White, who missed it, got her own rebound, finds Jordan Merritt, who buries it. Jordan Merritt, who's had double figures the last 3 games, and the sophomore out of Plano, Texas, has been a nice scoring addition to this lineup for the Gators over her 2 seasons.
Well, she's been just ready to contribute when she comes off the bench, Tiffany. I mean, she's been electric so far this season. Many people will have a sophomore slump. I mean, she's having a sensational season so far. And I think the biggest thing is she's ready when she comes off the bench. She's energetic. And she's, honestly, she looks like she's having fun out there. She's not putting pressure on herself.
Brown being guarded by Smith. Pagetti, excuse me. The take to the basket, foul on the floor. So 14 fouls for Florida. That personal whistled against Jordan Merritt.
Substitution for the Noles, number 24, Morgan Jones.
One player to watch is number 2 in black, Sammy Puisas. She is a terrific catch and shoot, elite kind of player that can really get hot, and so the Gators have to definitely be aware of where she is on the floor at all times.
Skying in for that rebound, Michaela Timpson. Timpson keeps it with the Noles. Morgan Jones off the mark. Jordan Merritt runs down the rebound. Lavender Briggs still looking for her first points of the game. I think Timpson got a hand on that one. But it'll stay with Florida. A lot of new faces on both sides of the ball and just being indoctrinated into what this rivalry is all about. Getting to know what it's like to play against your interstate rival.
You can definitely feel a sense of urgency from both teams playing at a fast pace. I'm told that this is the biggest crowd that Florida has had so far this season, for good reason, rivalry game.
Single digits on the shot clock. Nice pass to De Oliveira. She collects it, not able to go. White tried to put it back up, still with time, and gets it! And one! The determination from Talia White. The second attempt didn't go. She said, let me try one more.
Well, this is a freshman that Kelly Rae Finley says she will do whatever it is that the coaching staff asks from her, and if it's rebounding, she goes out and she gets it done. Love the second effort here to finish with contact.
Coming out of South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, she and her twin sister, Tatiana, who's also on the team, first pair of twins for the Gators. FSU searching for a bucket. They've gone 2.5 plus without. Morgan Jones double covered, and right there was River Baldwin.
And that's the benefit of having a true post and a player like Morgan Jones who can draw a double team off of an on ball.
Broughton with a great open look, and she knocks down the three, 16-11. And I want to say that's Albert who's feeling it in the stands, just under a minute to go. The pull up, and Jackson can't connect. White's coming up with it. The push ahead to Rimdahl, and Alberta Rimdahl gets it, and a whistle after. And I think the fans out of Denmark are loving it too, or at least the supporters of Rimdahl.
What a find by Zippy Broughton to make that pass. And Alberte Rimdahl, a player that Kelly Rae Finley very high on, is only going to get better as the season goes on, just a freshman.
Program's first ever signee from Denmark, played 11 minutes in the last game, but here she's got 3 points, and the bench scoring for Florida has been great in this opening period. They've put up 13 of the 19 points for the Gators. The long three, well off the mark from Aaron Howard. And so the Gators could potentially hold for the final shot of the quarter. Zippy Broughton, who started her career at Rutgers, spent 3 seasons with the Scarlet Knights before transferring. She's got the ball in her hands. Finds Ricards, top of the key three. Oh, just in and out. But a fun opening start here from Gainesville.
So 5 in, 5 out. In that quarter, she only had 1 starter on the floor. The rest was her bench players, and right now they're stepping up for the Gators.
When we were talking during the break, Steffi, something that you pointed out, transition points, and Zippy Broughton closed in on that in like no time, like 0.2 seconds.
She looked like DB Zippy. And I know you're still in football season, so you're understanding my lingo.
Absolutely, I'm picking up everything you're putting down. 8-0 run for the Florida Gators. Bajetti tried to get past Rimdahl.
No basket.
And the basket waved off.
Florida number 5, Alberte Rimdahl.
This is the one element I feel like Zippy Broughton has really brought to Florida is her defensive intensity. Every play, she's got her hands on a ball or she's creating some sort of turnover. She plays with a ton of energy. And again, she comes off the bench ready to do that.
And you were mentioning, even Steffi, when we were here for shoot around, you were just like, she just goes at 1 speed. I mean, she will zoom by you. She plays the game fast, and she's got the quicks. Bajetti, how about the determination from Bajetti? She saw something continue to go along on that right side, and she'll try to get the traditional 3-point play.
She's tough, and she's certainly a player that, in shoot-around yesterday, has had all the energy, half-court shots. I mean, she was joking with players. She was She was fun to talk to. Her dream job, Tiffany, you'll get a kick out of this. Play in the WNBA, be a lawyer and an artist all at the same time. That's ambitious. I admire it. We'll hold her to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, with the determination that we've seen on the court, I think it's absolutely possible. Rimdell thought about it. Coming off the screen, finds Broughton, gives fake, goes in a little bit closer, floater, falls. 23-14 advantage for Florida. A little yapping going on between the two fours on both sides. Trying to get it in to River Baldwin. Baldwin has Weich on her, hands up high, and River Baldwin gets it to roll around. Baldwin pacing the way for the Seminoles with 8 points so far, perfect from the floor. Baseline, and tried to kick it over to Ricards, and the second turnover for Florida. But taking care of the basketball, as you mentioned, has helped them thus far.
And Florida State coming into this game, they're the 12th best team in the country in scoring defense. 5th in the country in field goal percentage defense. Not a slouch defensively is what I'm saying. And right now, Florida doing a really good job just staying composed, rebounding, and playing their style of play.
Briggs, who checked back into the ball game, got the rebound. Now she's looking for the shot, going in a little bit closer. That may have been deflected from behind, but again, 0-0 in White agent. Talia Weich. Man, she's fun to watch underneath.
Yeah, Tiffany, you can tell she's just like a sponge out on the court, right? Coach says, get in there, I need you to get offensive rebounds. I need you to work the pick and roll. She's gonna do exactly what Coach Kelly Rae Finley wants her to do.
Coming off a very successful high school career, 4 straight state championships with American heritage. Merritt pulls up, and Merritt leaves it short and bumped by Weich. She's called for the personal foul as Jones fell to the floor.
Foul on 0-0 to Leah Weich. That's her first, team 4.
I think if you're Florida State, someone outside of Morgan Jones and River Baldwin has got to step up and score along the perimeter, whether that's Bianca Jackson or Courtney Weber. They're going to need some other kind of production from another guard. Too much pressure right now on Morgan Jones and River Baldwin to produce.
There's Bianca Jackson. Shot won't fall. Rebound for Smith. Kiki Smith pushing the tempo. Briggs picked up her dribble. Tried to force it in there to Weich. Turnover. And again, just this fast pace. Both teams need to just settle down for a second. Yeah. Here's Amaya Brown out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. And Dee Cantner whistling Jordan Merritt for the foul from behind. So that's the second personal foul for Jordan Merritt. So she'll go to the bench. Checking back in, De Oliveira.
Substitutions for the Gators, number 15, Nina Ricards, and number 11, Manu De Oliveira.
Bianca Jackson, the 5th-year senior out of Montgomery, Alabama, will shoot 2. It was Jackson who last year had a great game against the Gators, leading her Seminoles with 14 points in that win back in Tallahassee. Briggs lets it fly. Morgan Jones, a couple of rebounds.
Offensive foul on River Baldwin. That's her first, team first.
So River Baldwin, who checks back in, called for the offensive foul, and good connection there between Kelly Rae Finley and Kiki Smith. Smith, who has sought Finley's advice throughout her time here at Florida. Nice mentor-mentee relationship, as well as coach and player. The Cards with the offensive rebound. Smith driving, pulling up.
You know, what was pretty remarkable last season with Kiki Smith was leading the team in points, rebounds, and assists. And that was she was the only player in the SEC to do that, but the first in program history. Think about some of the great players that have come through the University of Florida, like Delisha Milton-Jones, Muriel Page. I mean, WNBA kind of talent. That was impressive for her to do, especially when Lavender Briggs got injured. Kiki Smith really put this team on her back.
And again, the pressure from the Gators forcing the turnover. To your point, Steffi, when you're looking at the career ranks for Kiki Smith, she's trying to be in that number. She wants to go to that next level and be able to play in the WNBA. And when we asked, really frankly, Coach Finley said, look, she's already got that leadership component and she's continuing to grow in that. But also we need that jump shot to come back as well. Well, Kiki Smith and her Gators up 25-17 halfway through the second quarter.
Tiff, I'm a little surprised you didn't bring up the fact that I watched the old footage.
Oh, yeah, that's
2009, Florida versus Florida State. Just want a little context for what it was like that long ago, the rivalry. It was so much pushing and shoving and trash talking. I'm so eager. What are you going to say?
No, see, okay, I'm gonna have a really good conversation. So, Steffi, give me your opinion on the differences between back then and now, the 2009 version of this rivalry compared to the 2021 edition.
It is different. I think the biggest difference is the transient nature of the student athlete of today. Not a lot of people go to one school and stay at that school, and back then players did, and they were there for 4 or 5 years. So when you cut open your skin, it was like orange and blue, or if you were a Seminole, it was garnet and gold. It's just the way it was. So it was a little different, Tiff. It's just different.
So I got questions now. Okay, this is gonna sound like 21 questions here, but like, how much instigating were you doing? How much like pushing and rubbing elbows and like, you know, get off me after making a shot like that for the Gators? Did you kind of get in the face of the Seminoles players?
Well, the one thing, and this applies to the game now, is if you're a shooter or a scorer, your opponent is going to do everything they can to just make you miserable. They're going to push and shove. They're going to, you're going to cut through the paint. They're going to shove you out of the way. It's just, it's going to get under your skin. So then you got to get under their skin. That's kind of how it works.
So like a 2009 version of that wrestling away between River Baldwin and Florida Tonders, would have been a little bit extra? There would have been a little.
There's always extra between these two ball clubs.
I just wanted to know your part in this all. In the process, nice drop and take from Nina Ricards. Biggest lead now of the game for the Gators. The look for Aaron Howard, sees it roll in and out. Tonders hands it over to Kiki Smith. Smith finds Briggs. Briggs off the mark. River Baldwin calling for it in the post. Got good position, and there she is once again. River Baldwin is just so tough to defend. 58% from the floor coming into today's contest.
And you have to think, though, floor Tonders is the same size, same height, but it's River Baldwin's ability to catch, turn right over that right shoulder and go right up. She doesn't hesitate. And more importantly, she's calling for the ball. And as a post player, that's one of the most important things. Guard, give me the ball now.
Nice cut from De Oliveira. And once again, the Gators rolling. Bugetti says, I'm gonna try to blow by everybody, loses the handle on the basketball. Briggs up the other way, stripped away by Howard.
Watch River Baldwin. She's got her left hand up calling for it, just backs Tonders down into the paint for the easy two. The little pass by Lav Briggs, reads her teammate's eyes, points her in the right direction for the two.
River Baldwin, McDonald's All-American going into Tallahassee, 10 points today. Perfect 5 of 5 from the floor, and she's grabbed 4 boards as well. Now she has the assignment of guarding White and getting a hand on that one. One of the best teams in the nation in terms of blocks per game. Now let's see if defense can lead to offense, and it does. Morgan Jones dropping the 15-footer.
Vintage Florida State, their defense creating offense. Morgan Jones getting on the board. 4 points today.
Briggs, who's been searching for her shot, only has 2 points today. Back the other way come the Seminoles. Trailing, chasing from behind was Smith. And Amaria Gordon takes the 3. Watches that one bounce out of bounds.
Florida basketball.
When you're 6'5" and a junior with experience versus Talia Weish, she's going to win that every time, and that leads to a nice, easy bucket for Morgan Jones, something that Florida State really needs. They need their defense to step up, play a little bit more aggressive, create more opportunities like that offensively.
Off the screen, and Zippy Broughton, who continues to inject life from the bench. She's now got 9 points. That one won't fall. Smith, the little hesitation, stutter step. Oh yeah, little showtime from Kiki.
You've got to have change of speed at the next level. If you want to be a WNBA player, changing of your speed. That first speed isn't going to win. It's the second speed, as we see it from Kiki Smith.
And she knew it. She knew it for sure. She was just like, ah, wait a minute. Okay, let's go. Smith has been all over the floor today. Getting in on rebounds, putting up 7 points, getting her hands active on defense.
The biggest difference too, Tiffany, is they have the depth now where she can take a break. A season ago, she couldn't come out of the game.
The crossover from Brigetti tried to answer River Baldwin. That's her first miss of the game. Still with another opportunity, and she's fouled. A couple of Seminoles fall to the floor.
Florida foul on number 1, Kiki Smith. That's her first.
1.6 seconds remaining. Kiki Smith whistle for the foul. Let's take another look at it here.
And River Baldwin, no one's really trying to clear her out of the paint. You're not going to win that battle against a player who's 6'5". You don't have size to match up with that. Florida State, a really good rebounding team. They've out-rebounded every opponent so far this season.
$11 points in the quarter for River Baldwin, but her team trailing by 14 points as we close out the first half in Gainesville. It's the Florida Gators who are halfway home to a potential win, but plenty more basketball to go. We'll send it back to the studio with the PBs, Peter Burns and Pat Bradley. What's up?
Oh, they haven't beat FSU since 2015. What did you see in that 14-point first half?
Florida Gators with a 14-point lead at the half back here in Gainesville. And Florida just saw great production both from their starting five and their bench especially.
Yeah, 21 points in that first half. Zippy she brought it in that first half. She was fantastic. Alberta Remdahl as well. But just a tremendous energy to give life and a boost to the starters against a really tough.
We're surprised kind of by the rebounding numbers, how closely Florida is rebounding with Florida State, given the fact that the Seminoles do an excellent job. There appears to be a shot clock malfunction. Maybe they just got to get it running.
Well, that was something that the players from a year ago took away from the last time they played Florida State, was they got killed on the boards. They were very aware of it. Coach Kelly Ray Finley didn't have to remind them. They knew that they had to do a better job on the glass, which they're doing, but I expect Florida State to really impose their will. Look, they've got all the height out there on the floor, and they're not winning the points in the paint, and that's something that they can change here in the second.
Here's Bajetti off the mark, going to the floor and trying to corral it. Possession arrow goes with the Gators. Well, with all that production you saw from the bench, and we showed a graphic earlier about how great Lavender Briggs has played over the last 4 games. Just 1 of 8 from the floor, 2 points, but everyone has gotten involved for the Gators. Big contact underneath the basket between De Oliveira and River Baldwin. A blocking foul called against Baldwin.
This is something that Manu De Oliveira can do from that wing post position. She plays the 4 for them, but she can take a post off the perimeter, get inside the paint. But if you were to tell me that Lav Briggs would be 1 for 8 and they would be up by 15 points against a team that's receiving votes in the polls in Florida State, I would have kind of raised my eyebrows at you, Tiff.
Yeah. And this is a Florida State team who's picked to finish 5th in the ACC, a very competitive group out of the Atlantic Coast Conference. Three-second violation called against Valencia Myers, and so another turnover for FSU. De Oliveira going in, got her own rebound, keeps the possession with Florida. And Smith sizing it up. Here's Briggs. Off the foot of Ricards. And it's Florida State basketball. such a tough and elite defender. An hand-checking violation called against Kiki Smith, but we go back to Lav Briggs and just her numbers over the last 4, as we talked about in the comparisons when you see them side by side, shocking. But I think Kelly Rae Finley will take that. If Lavender Briggs is off, that means everyone else is stepping up and is on.
Yeah, and they're not just so reliant on Lavender Briggs to win them every single time out. You know, now they have bench production. They've got young players, freshmen, they've got transfers, happy and eager to get out there and do something. Okay, Lav.
And De Oliveira is there, the hoop and the harm. Well, this is a young lady who's back with this Florida women's basketball team after spending last season in Brazil due to COVID-19. Restrictions, couldn't get back in despite numerous attempts and canceled visa appointments. So she's remained connected, but happy to be back on the floor for the Gators, and they appreciate her production. Valencia Myers losing the handle on it.
This last play, Tiffany, it looked a little chaotic, right? Lav Briggs tries to go behind the back. Oh, maybe not. She somehow comes up with the loose ball, finds Manu de Oliveira for the nice finish. And I know the Gators are happy to have her back. One of the more efficient players for Florida. Kind of seems to always be in the right place at the right time, makes good decisions.
Nice cut there from Briggs. The reverse layup goes in. And timeout taken on the court.
All Gators here in Gainesville, 45-24 up on Florida State.
Florida opening this second half on a 7-0 run. Let's go back to that last play for the Gators, and Lavender Briggs finding her way to the bucket.
Well, she's had a tough night shooting the basketball, but here, it's so easy. Just cut, just move, make your defender guard you. And as quick and speedy as Lavender Briggs can be, you need a player, though, in Manu who can find you. And that's understanding, and they have the experience together. Really pretty play for the Gators. I've been surprised, Tiffany, Florida State not really being the aggressor defensively. That's kind of always been what they've been known for, but really it's been the Gators that have imposed their will on the Seminoles this whole game.
With 5 to go on the shot clock, Morgan Jones thought about it, tried to get a little bit closer, and Lavender Briggs got a hand on it, a violation against Florida State. Do you feel like it's been a matter of, okay, all the brain power that's been expelled this week due to final exams, not having played since last Sunday?
I think really the coming back home and playing in front of a nice audience. I mean, they've had to create a lot of their own energy, maybe smaller attendance, obviously last year with no fans. And you hear the noise? They're feeding off that right now.
And this is where Florida has found great success in this third quarter, coming out of the locker room, and they're continuing that right there. But the first points of this second half for Florida State come by way of Michaela Timpson.
Count the basket for Michaela Timpson. Goal foul number 11, Manu de Oliveira.
Timpson, the freshman out of Edison, Georgia, who
substitution for the Gators,
will be at the line to shoot two. There's Manu.
I really like the upside, Tiffany, for the freshman. She actually chose Florida State because of Brooke Wyckoff, the assistant coach. Didn't know that she could dunk until she randomly did it in practice one day. I was like, was it a tennis ball or a regular ball? It was a regular ball.
I'm trying to think of the other Florida State player, Shakayla Thomas.
Shakayla Thomas.
Yeah. She could also.
She could get up.
Yes, she could. I think she could dunk as well. I mean, the hops on Thomas and Timkins. Well, you mentioned Brooke Wyckoff, who actually wore the number 21 during her playing days at Florida State, the associate head coach who stepped in as the acting head coach last season with the leave of absence for Coach Cimarao. And the job that Brooke Wyckoff did with this program, longtime member of the staff, and when Coach Cimarao talked about just the impact that she has and what she did, she was like, look, I didn't want to stand in the way of Brooke, so I wanted to clear the way and make sure, and beyond that, Brooke Wyckoff helping to be a founding member of Moms and Coaching. They meet every year at the Final Four. Her daughter Avery, talking about you can do it all.
Yeah.
You can balance coaching life, mom, personal life, and be successful in it.
I know that just talking with Sue Cimarao about Brooke Wyckoff, as you see the screen by Jordan Merritt, which leads to Florida State having the basketball, just how proud and surreal she said the moment was watching, because she's taking care of her mom back home in the Pacific Northwest, and Brooke's coaching from the sideline, and she said it was just a crazy feeling. She was super proud, and the players love Brooke Wyckoff. I mean, I talked to several of them at practice yesterday, and why they chose Florida State, they pointed to Brooke Wyckoff. And to see her get that opportunity last year, I know was really big.
Now in her 11th season on this FSU coaching staff. And great continuity within this program, being able to feel comfortable to hand the reins over to your assistant to take care of personal matters. That speaks to the trust that both Coach Cimarao and Brooke Wyckoff have. Briggs from the free throw line. And Rimdahl was boxed out. Seminoles, the pick and pop, or stop and pop from Courtney Weber there. And Weber gets Florida State another 2 points.
And this is where Florida has to be careful. Where they can't be two laps. They've obviously have a lead. They've been playing well. Got to stay dialed in, Rimdahl. Big three.
Again, that bench production for Florida has been key in this ball game. That's helped to make the difference. Nice dunk pass from River Baldwin into Timkins, and she's fouled on the way up. So 4:15 remaining in the third quarter, and the Florida Gators have gotten all the lift they've needed from the bench. But Florida State trying to work their way back into this ball game on the road. Chance for them to perhaps rebound the Jimmy V Women's Classic, and Kentucky and Louisville, a tight one. Maryland coming up, another top 10 matchup for South Carolina.
Well, Kentucky lost that game to DePaul without Drea Edwards. She was suspended for the game, so Edwards back in the starting lineup for this Louisville game. That's going to be a good one. They're neck and neck. I'm excited to see South Carolina, Maryland. I mean, what are you most looking forward to about that game?
Well, I'm always looking forward to Aaliyah Boston.
Yeah,
Aaliyah
well,
Boston
that's a good person
is the show to me, and I think Ashley Owusu is also a great. Now, I will be interested in the backcourt matchup and how their guards are able to handle her, because she's just so powerful, so quick. I think it's going to be a great matchup. But the way South Carolina has played, I got a chance to see them live and in person a couple weeks ago.
The real deal.
The real deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just a reminder, we'll have a men's basketball doubleheader for you Tuesday night, starting with this one, as 25th ranked LSU host Northwestern State in Baton Rouge, then North Alabama and number 18 Auburn. To follow that one, our coverage begins at 7 Eastern right here on the SEC Network. Auburn riding a 5-game winning streak after beating Nebraska yesterday. Zippy Broughton tries to kiss it high off the glass, won't go. Weiss can't come down with it. Here comes Morgan Jones. River Baldwin not on the floor. Timpson, excuse me, and Timpson gets it to go.
Well, Florida State doing a really good job of executing their offense where they're utilizing their bigs. Like, they're getting them on the move, putting them in an on-ball situation so they can go a little high-low, throwing Florida off defensively, because it's really been Florida who's making Florida State play differently.
Really tough shot there, contested by Broughton. And a nice leap over the cheerleaders, and Zippy Broughton smiles, bounces it back over to the official. Florida State trailing by 20, have knocked down their last 3 shots. And I think, Steffi, that question still remains of who else is going to be able to score. You thought Morgan Jones was going to be the one to pace the way as she collects her 6th point of the ball game. But outside of that, it's been very spotty on the offensive end for Florida State.
And Florida State has struggled to really get fully healthy. They've had certain players along the perimeter battle injuries here or there. So I just think that, you know, in today's game, you have to have that third scorer, and especially along the perimeter. So Morgan Jones can do her thing. You've had River Baldwin and some of the other post players like Timpson get in there and get some production, but got to have more a three-point threat, something that can open up the paint for dribble penetration.
Baldwin checks in along with Bajetti back on the floor.
At the line for the Gators, 0-0, Talia Weiss. She'll shoot 2 shots.
So Weiss coming off a strong all-around game in that 60-57 decision over Dayton. Florida taking down the Atlantic 10 preseason favorites Wednesday night. Rimdahl finds Weiss on the perimeter. Lets it fly. Smith can't hit. Saved by Jones, but it goes to Florida. One of the things Kelly Rae Finley talked about was just the resilience of this team, the way they've been able to fight and bounce back. Disappointing loss to George Mason. Then they come back with wins at TCU and Dayton. So a win today over your rival means a whole lot, but that much more if you can string together wins as you head into conference play next Thursday.
You know, there's not a lot of expectations on Florida this season. I mean, it's kind of a year that it's up in the air, as Kelly Rae Finley talked about, is what's going to happen, who knows? And, you know, there was a lot of controversy surrounding the team coming into the season. The players wanted to put that behind them, get into this year. You know, this would be a huge win for them because no one's counting on Florida to make any noise within conference play. You get wins like this, you start to build some confidence, and then you start sneaking up on some teams. I don't think Kiki Smith and Lab Briggs are going to sneak up on anybody, but the way that the bench has played for Florida.
The double team, bounce pass out of it. River Baldwin ran into Rimdahl, and a traveling violation against the Seminoles, and 16 turnovers today for Florida State.
And help side is key. against bigs like this, and Florida does a terrific job just walling up, standing their ground to create the turnover.
Jones sprinting the floor right at the rim, and yes! Morgan Jones had one thing on her mind, and she was able to roll in the layup.
From the catch, I mean, head up, doesn't even remotely get phased by a defender, finishes with contact. That's what makes her one of the best players in the country, and especially in the ACC.
Long-time starter for the Seminoles, missing on the free throw there. 8 points today for Morgan Jones. Briggs, who's had a tough shooting night from the floor, but Manu de Oliveira says no problem. Career high with 14 points was against Grambling State, and here tonight she set a new career best with 16 on the steal, and Kiki Smith is fouled. So what an all-around effort we keep mentioning from the Florida Gators.
And just the extra pass to De Oliveira. And like I said, she's just smooth, Tiff. When she gets out there, she doesn't force anything. She just lets the game come to her. And a really efficient day out there on the floor today.
Another senior in this program, and Kiki Smith knocks down the first of 2 free throws, and Faith Ducats on the board with the putback. And so all but one Florida Gator has scored in this game. The offensive foul against Florida State. And right now, just great effort on both ends of the floor for the home team.
And everybody out for Florida State. Sue Semrau not happy with the effort that was presented out on the floor, and some of the issues that she said that the team has had this year is maybe just inconsistent effort and not being aggressive enough, not dictating their style enough, and that's definitely been an issue today.
Gordon makes her move, tries to flip it up, won't go. The putback by Myers, and it bounces out. Well, the Florida Gators outscore their opponents 22-11 in this third quarter. They've got a sizable advantage here. It was Lavender Briggs who was cutting to the hoop and then said, wait a minute, Rimdahl, I can hit him. Manu de Oliveira, she's been pulling.
Yeah, that's an understatement, Tiff. She has been the bright spot for the Gators today. Right place, right time. Her number's been called. She has delivered, not just from mid-range, but from three-point line, in the paint. She's done it all for Kelly Rae Finley and the Gators today.
And you think she's happy to be back on the court this season?
Yeah.
She dropped 14, which was a career high back in November against Grambling State, and now she bested today with 16 against the in-state rival Florida State. Start of the fourth quarter. And Florida's defensive intensity and pressure, their sets of sequences on this end of the floor have been great.
We talked about the numbers for Florida State. I mean, top 25 rankings and all of that. But that's been a different story in this game. I mean, Florida and Kelly Rae Finley in previous seasons, she's kind of been the defensive coordinator, and she really likes to run the defense, and so clearly she's got this team clicking and buying into what she wants them to do defensively. They're just so active. And it's created a lot of their offense. Ooh, Faith Doot.
And Doot took an elbow to the head as Valencia Myers was clearing.
Valencia Myers. That's her 5th.
And Doot is still getting attention on the floor. Let's take another look at it here.
Ooh.
So Doot still down on the floor as Valencia Myers whistled for her 5th personal foul. She would be done for the game. And the applause for Faith Doot as she rises to walk. And they're still taking a look at it here to see if it's a common foul or more. And you could see immediately with that turnaround when Myers gathered, turned around, that elbow hit, and you could just watch the body language of how Doot fell to the floor. And so they're gonna leave it as a personal foul. As we mentioned, the 5th and final foul against Valencia Myers. Break on the floor, 9:12 remaining in this one. It's V Week at ESPN, and our partnership with the V Foundation highlights the urgent need for cancer research and the elimination of racial disparities in cancer outcomes. For more information, visit espn.com/VWeek. Well, Steffi, you and I have touched on it already, but if you're just joining us, Sue Semrau back for this 2021-22 season after taking a leave of absence last year to care for her mother, Rosemary, who was diagnosed with ovarian cancer last year. And good to say that it's in remission.
Yes.
That's the good news to hear, but the battle of going back and forth and trying to coach and manage a program and take care of, you know, a parent is rather challenging, especially across the country from Tallahassee to Seattle. That takes a toll over time. And so you think about not only, you know, making the sacrifice to go care for your loved one, but also voluntarily forfeiting your salary because of the effect that COVID-19 had on a number of budgetary issues at different institutions. And it was around the pandemic. I mean, that was just a lot to process.
Yeah, and talking to Coach about it, she said it just kind of gave her new life, a new perspective. She felt like maybe the worst thing about what she dreaded when she got into coaching was your identity was solely wrapped in being a coach, and she said that's what was happening to me. And so the year off, she really just took time to reflect on what she wanted to do and how she wanted to be as a coach moving forward. And it's such a different game and recruiting and all that, and she wanted to get back to relationships. And I think allowing Brooke Wyckoff to be her interim showcases the relationship they had and moving forward and getting back with her players. And I know that they were excited, too, for her to be back on the sideline.
Such a positive face, positive person
totally.
to be around. She always has this great energy about her. You see how invested she is in the game just by how she shows on the sideline. 24 seasons at the helm at Florida State. And straight into the bucket for Kiki Smith, continuing to widen the lead, and now she comes up with the steal. Zippy Brunt, and right now the Gators can't miss. Everybody that's touched the floor for Florida has scored a point. De Oliveira and Timpson tangled up underneath the basket.
What would you call that in football terminology? Is that a tackle or?
Yeah, I was like, really, it felt like, you know,
Fell into her.
you just fell into it, right? Honestly. Number of whistles here.
For foul number 5, Alberto Lindo, that's her fourth, team third.
Pagetti gets it into Baldwin. Baldwin finds Timpson. Timpson had it stripped away. And again, the defense for Florida has been on point here this afternoon. FSU gets it right back. And the importance of a win like this for Florida, this would mean a lot also because Florida State is one of the top tier teams in the ACC.
Substitution for the Gators, double zero to Leah White.
And I know that the Gators were excited and felt good about beating Dayton, who's favored to win the A-10, but Florida State's a different ball club. It's a Power 5 and NCAA tournament team, and the way that they have handled this game. See, I wondered when the lead started to swell if they would get too relaxed and Florida State would pounce, but they've really kept their foot on the gas and just kept going and keep building this lead.
Well,
they've been prepared for a lot of Florida State's offense, the high-low. I mean, you've seen players rotate over, tip passes, get steals. Had a really good game plan going into it.
what was one of the things that Kelly Ray Finley talked to us about in terms of a key for success today was to what, Steffi?
Make shots.
Ooh.
You know, you can play good defense and you can create disruption and havoc defensively, but if you're not converting on the offensive side of the floor, it's just not going to result in success all the time. And Florida has made shots, shared the basketball. They've been unselfish today. And consequently, Florida State has missed a lot of shots. They've had opportunities. The ball just hasn't gone in the hoop.
For the foul, number 15, Nina Ricards. That's her second, team fourth. Substitution for the Seminoles.
So at both teams, you know, kind of prepare and get themselves ready and thinking about conference play. I mean, Florida's first test in the ACC is against Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, a very tough team.
Asia Shepherd, I mean, ACC is stacked. I mean, UNC is looking really good. Duke back in the fold under Kara Lawson. Obviously, NC State, Louisville.
Rimdahl has that one rim off. The open look, and Aaron Howard not able to knock it down. A miss there from Pagetti. So coming up Ofer on that end of the floor for Florida State.
Substitutions for the Gators, number 20, Jariah Warren, and number 1, Kiki Smith.
We talked about one of the areas in which Florida State, you said they haven't, shot the ball well today. 1 of 11 from three-point range. When you get back into the gym, if the score holds as is, what areas do you attack? What are you going to focus on most as you prepare for, again, your next game before going into conference play? That's a question
I'm gonna think
you
about.
can answer when we come back from the break. You have a chance to ponder it. Oh, wait a minute. The good news is we're staying.
Okay.
So now we've tiptoed, we've danced a little bit. What you got? What do you work on if you're Florida State?
I think what's most important is you hone in on what you do really well. And sometimes you worry about what an opponent is going to try and force you to do to get caught up in the game plans, especially when you guys are very familiar with each other, which is what happens in conference play is you work on what you do really well. So I think that for Florida State, what they do really well is they do defensively create a lot of turnovers. They can lock you down on the perimeter. They can rebound really well, but they also play inside out really well. They got away from all of that. So when you go back to practice, you're like, what makes us good? Let's not stray from what makes us good. And we just didn't get to see a lot of those, the style of play that is known for Florida State. And you have to credit Florida, 5 minutes left in this game, but they've taken Florida State out of everything that they really want to do. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. I like it because you have to go back to focus on you. Sometimes there is always this, oh, we didn't do this well, we didn't do that. Well, let's go back to the things that we do well. And Isabella Nicoletti checking into the ball game, but knocks down the three, just the second of the game for Florida State.
And Tiff, that answer really is just from previous experience playing, where maybe we had a disappointing game and we go into the locker room expecting to be, criticized and all that. And there's no doubt that there will be that, but it's about improving what we do well and not necessarily focusing on all the things that we didn't.
That comes from maturity too, with a person who having played the game, because that's a very common answer that you hear from a lot of coaches. It's not that we're worried about them. We're more concerned about us and how we can get better and how we can do the things that we do well at a higher level.
Another hustle play by Manu. Just getting her hand on a loose ball, create another opportunity for Florida's offense.
Blocked from behind by Timpson.
I love Timpson.
Yeah.
How can you not like what she's been able to do out there today?
And what a move. Wow, count the basket for Gordon. And so Florida says, hold up, not done yet. Defensively, they get going.
What did I say that Florida State's good at? Creating offense off their defense, and then Gordon in transition with the contact. I love the freshman's ability to not shy away, not back down. Her team's down by a sizable lead, goes right at Florida.
One of the nation's top players out of the state of Florida in this 2021 class, knocking down that free throw, a 9-0 run for Florida State. Jump ball and possession arrow stays with the Gators.
And I like the push right now from Florida State. They're upping up their pressure defensively. No easy buckets for Florida. And they're playing with some pace, trying to get some looks in transition.
Ricard finds Merritt, who was rolling to the bucket and counted. Morgan Jones is fouled.
We've seen this from Florida today. Patience on the on ball, but the screener rolling to the basket with no help side from Florida State. And that's by play design. That's pulling the bigs away from the rim, putting them in a position where they're not as effective and opening up the paint.
Jones knocking down both free throws, and Morgan Jones in double figures once again, all but one games this season. She's found 10 or more points. Just over 3 minutes to go, the block from behind from Timpson with some attitude.
This kid's got so much upside for the Seminoles. She is just scratching the surface. The timing, the elevation, and the length. Woo!
And Timpson trying to get her hand on that one. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Coach Simmerau coming out nearly to half court. Try to say, let's defend well. The Gators come up empty. Here come the Seminoles. Nicoletti open for three. Ricards.
Smart. Smart by Florida to take the ball out, run some clock. You've got an 18-point lead. There's no real rush. Just get through your offense.
Tonders trying to face up, cross-court pass, dangerous, has to get up a shot. And the ball doesn't touch the rim, and the shot clock violation.
Substitution for the Gators, number 4, Zippy Buck.
That ran off 30 seconds of game clock.
Well, Sue Simmerau right now going with a smaller lineup. You know, traditionally we've seen the two bigs in there, 6'5", 6'4". She's got Timpson, 6'2", who's really playing the 5 for them, just trying to throw a different look at Florida, get something going offensively. I think it makes them a little bit more athletic on the defensive side of the floor, more mobile.
Again, playing a little keep away. Broughton had a shot, thought about it, decided to take it out again. The kick out to Smith. Smith pulls up and Timpson fouls her. So Kiki Smith will go to the line.
That's her second.
And shoot two. Kiki Smith, who has just been so vital to this program. I mean, she has just been a cornerstone. You mentioned earlier her ability to stay, to choose Florida, to want to be with Kelly Rae Finley and company. Well, we have more women's basketball for you Wednesday as Alcorn State travels to Baton Rouge to take on Caleb Porter and the 24th ranked LSU Tigers. That's Wednesday, 7 Eastern, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. I say, well, what was the sell? What was the sell, Coach Finley, for you to have these players return as Bajetti knocks down the three? She said, I'm for you. Okay, so it's we versus them. Us versus them. Just that simple.
But when it's genuine, it means that much more. And the players know how genuine Kelly Rae Finley is.
One minute remaining in this one. And Florida, who has controlled this game just about from tip, is going to break a 5-game skid to the Florida State Seminoles.
And also checking in for the Gators, number 20, Jeriah Warren, and number 5, Quentin McBall.
So Kiki Smith, afternoon is done, along with Lav Briggs, Smith, at 11 points, and 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. And blocked. And what a play by Jariah Warren coming in for her first few minutes.
We've seen great shot blocking, Tiffany, I feel like on both ends of the floor today.
We saw the fight that Florida State put up in this fourth quarter to try to close the lead down, but Florida has found an answer every time to stave them off.
You want to know what kind of team you have heading into conference play, and I feel like Florida's faced some adversity, and they've learned who they are, and they understand, and kind of growing up as they head into SEC play.
On the break, and there's Morgan Jones. Morgan Jones closes down the lead, but not enough as the Gators win for the first time over their in-state rival since 2015, snapping a streak, and Kelly Rae Finley's team has won 3 in a row. What an afternoon, and a total team effort from the Florida Gators, top to bottom.
Across the board, what a win for Florida, sharing the basketball, so unselfish, giving them some momentum heading into conference play.
For Steffi Sorensen, I'm Tiffany Green saying we out from Gainesville.